Hey everyone, Charles here. And first of all, thank you for stopping by my podcast. If this show inspires you, makes you think, or gives you that courage to jump into action, please help by donating to this show. Click the link in the description and donate. Your donation helps us with production and finding great guests moving forward. Thank you and enjoy.
You know you should be doing something different, right? Hey, I'm talking to you. Do you believe that you have the gift for greatness or have a special talent, but don't have the courage to take that next step? Always wondering how others made it look so easy? Well, welcome to Jump, the show that will bring you special guests just like you and me. How did they get the courage to jump into greatness? Doing what they love and living the good life. So, get ready to jump with your host, Charles Matthews Jr.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jump Podcast. If this is your first time here, it's time to jump. I don't mean jump up and down. I mean jump into your future, jump into greatness. What is holding you back? So this is what happened on this podcast. I look for people that can help us get to that level. When you get to the line, don't be scared to just take that one step. So what I'm going to do is bring you interesting guests that can help you get over the hump. It's time to jump. Let's go with our special guest. How you doing, sir?
I'm great, Charles. How are you?
Man, it's good. Listen, Christmas is around the corner,
Yes, it is.
And I'm just happy to be here. So before we get started, please introduce yourself.
Hey, I am Atiba De Souza from Client Attraction Pros.
So, born and raised, where are you from?
So originally from Trinidad. Been in the Washington, D.C. area for over 30 years. It's been a long time, but originally from Trinidad.
Nice. So the little boy in you growing up, what was the vision? What did you see yourself becoming?
Yeah, well, business has been the answer for me since I came out the womb, if you can say. And something inside of technology and business was always the focus and where I was headed. And that's a lot of where I ended up. And of just having that vision and sticking to that and fighting through the decades, literally, to get here and all of the barriers and obstacles.
So let's talk about the first barrier and obstacle. What age did you jump across?
So I started in business when I was still in high school.
Nice.
All right. So I've really never worked for anyone else. I've always worked for myself. And so that very first barrier, and this is one that I think will resonate with a lot of people. I know it will resonate with a lot of people. That very first barrier was me.
Yes.
Okay? That very, very first barrier was me and the realization of worthiness. I remember having a meeting with one of my first clients, and we were building an application for them, right? A software application. We were writing code for them. And we thought we were doing great work. We thought we were doing something, and we were scared to go in and ask them for money to build this application. And I remember sitting at the boardroom. Now, remember, I'm literally 19 years old at this point, okay? Dealing with people 3 times my age, and sitting at this boardroom table presenting. And then one of the VP says, "Yeah, I love what you're saying, but I think we want this and these features as well. Can you do that?" And I said, "Yeah, we can do that, but it'll be kind of costly to do it, but we can do it for you." And he sat back and said, "Oh, what are we talking about money-wise?" And somebody else at the table, the owner of the company says, "Oh, don't worry about it. What he needs by expensive is only pennies to us." Right? And in that moment, here's what I realized. I was undervaluing myself. I was scared to walk in there and ask them for what they considered to be pennies.
Yeah, that's a big scare for everybody. Mm-hmm. And the thing about what people need to understand is when you stick to your guns, okay, you always end up with more bullets.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to say that again. When you stick to your guns, you always end up with more bullets. And what I mean by that is you give a price in business. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, you can't do a little better than that. I really, can you do something better? And then you're like, oh, you really want to work with the client. And you're like, okay, well, maybe I can do this and do. And meanwhile, in your head, this is the best price. This is what I'm worth. This is what I'm giving you. But you're wheeling and dealing instead of just sticking to your guns and just say, listen, no worries. If you can't afford me, we'd really love to work with you, but this is what I am. This is what I've done. And you can see the product, or you would have never called me into the studio or in here to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I love that point of yours. You got to, think of it that way.
Absolutely. And can I say that? I've got a phrase similar. Let me give you mine. It's those that you bend over backwards for that break your back.
That's a Caribbean one. I love that. Yep. And then the thing about it, it's a hard back too. You know what I mean? It's not like a little light load. It's usually they always ask you for something big. It's when you sacrifice yourself, you think, okay, I'll do it. No worries. Then the big load comes. You didn't see it coming, but it comes.
They're setting you up.
All right. So what was the second venture?
Second venture or second issue? Where do you want to go?
Second issue. Yeah, let's go with that one. I like that one better.
All right. So the second issue, and what's interesting, because it continues to be me, right? And I think that's going to be part of the theme as we talk about this. Is we are often the problem. Okay. Sometimes we like to look outside and point to things, but it often is really just us. And so the second one was at the ripe old age of 20 years old. So before my 21st birthday, I took on a first big government project, and that went for about 5 years or so. And I was leading a team. By 21, I was leading a team of 30 people, where I was the youngest by over 10 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And my issue came in my own self-reflection on being too young to be in that place.
Oh, so you thought that you weren't qualified, too young to lead these next people?
It was imposter syndrome. Okay. I mean, I knew I was there. I was getting paid. I was going to do the work. So listen, I want you to understand something. We got the job done. That was never an issue. It was a $10 million system we were building over this 5. We got the job done. Mm-hmm. But man, did I do it scared.
So there was no point that you were there and you go, man, I got this. This is me. This is what I got to do.
I knew this is what I had to do, but I was terrified. And that, it also taught me a lot too, because I didn't have a choice, right? At that point, I had signed up, and all eyes are on me. I'm leading a team of 30 people. All eyes are on me. You're 21 years old. All eyes are on me. And it's like, I'm not going to quit on this. And the money was just at 21 years old, the money was just too good. Right? Let's call a spade a spade.
Yep.
Right? And so I'm not going to quit. So I'm going to fight through this. And the thing that it taught me there is that inner gumption to fight through. To realize that courage, my friends, is not the absence of fear, but courage is the ability to move in the face of fear. It doesn't, I'm still scared.
Someone said to me the other day, if you're not scared to do something, it's not worth doing.
Come on now.
And I'm like, if you're not scared to do something, it's not worth. That means you're not hungry for it. You don't really want to do it, because if you really wanted to do it, you're like, oh, it's so simple. I can do that anytime. But when you have that little scaredness in you, the passion, you're like, yeah, this is exciting. This is new. So I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. And it's something we're going through right now in our company is really helping my staff understand that it's good, it's appropriate to live in this place and space of uncomfortability.
Yes. That
the only way we can grow to be world-class, and that's the term that we use, to become world-class in whatever it is that you do. You don't have to be world-class in everything, but you got to be world-class in what you do.
Yes.
Is to live in this world where you're going to be constantly uncomfortable. Because when you're constantly uncomfortable, you're constantly in a place where you're pushing yourself to grow. You're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. You're not just sitting on the couch saying, hey, I did this yesterday. I'm going to do it again tomorrow. It's okay.
There's no flavor to the new job. There's no flavor. There's nothing exciting you to make it different.
Yeah. And I believe that, as business owners, number one, it is our job. You didn't create a business to just be okay. Mm-hmm. You didn't create a business to just say, I just created a business. No, you created a business because you saw a problem in the world that no one else was solving in the way that you saw fit to solve. That, my friend, is the definition of being world class.
Right.
Okay. Go out and be that. But so often you can't be that unless you inspire your team and your staff to be that as well.
Gotcha. All right. Let's have some fun, my friend, to get to know you a little bit more. It's now time for rapid fire. That's right. It's now rapid fire. Here's a little thing a little different that's going to happen. You get to choose the questions I ask you. So you need to choose A, B, C, or D. But the thing is, you got 2 minutes on the clock. You can elaborate. But remember, you got 2 minutes on the clock and you got to get through all these questions. So what do you want? A, B, C, or D?
C.
C. The first question starts when the clock goes. Here we go. C. What is success to you?
Success to me is the ability to create something that lives beyond me and affects the lives of others around me.
Sunset or sunrise?
Rise.
Favorite color?
All black. Any.
What's your favorite subject in school?
Math.
What was your worst subject in school?
English.
What's the first thing you notice about someone when you're first meeting them?
Oh, that's a tough one because for everybody it's different because I'm looking for something unique about you. And so that could be your smile, it could be your shoes.
What's the best compliment you've ever gotten?
Ooh. I don't have the exact words, but it was along the lines of, thank you, you changed my life.
There you go. What do you like doing in the mornings?
Recording video.
How do you start your day?
With reading the Bible. First thing I do.
What advice would you give someone starting a business like yourself?
Understand that in business, anything that's great about you is going to come out. Anything that's bad about you is also going to come out. And that's okay.
In 30 seconds, describe yourself in 5 words.
Fun. Jeez, that's a good one. Man, you got me with that one. So fun, passionate, all in, and that's 2 words, and loving and joyful. There you go.
There you go. With 2 seconds left on the clock. All right. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. When we come back, we're going to talk about how you're helping people with your business get to that next level in business and move forward. We'll be right back.
CMJ Entertainment is a one-stop shop. CMJ Entertainment helps people do any type of events, and it's a marketing tool as well. So we'll cover everything from start to finish. If it's a wedding, we'll make sure your wedding is over the top. And if it's an event, we make sure that everybody gets information at the end of the day. Give us a call at 416-414-8964 or online, go to cmjent.com.
Hey, it's okay if you're driving or too busy to take notes. Charles has your parachute packed with all the info you need to jump into success. Check out the links section for all the tools you need to land safe. Now, let's keep falling with Charles and his special guest.
Yes, we are back live. All right, so before we went to break, you're talking about the first thing you do in the morning. How you start your day is you read scriptures from the Bible. Explain why you do that.
center, focus, discipline. I can tell you, one of the big problems that I had in my younger years was being undisciplined. And that causes havoc in business because the lack of discipline shows up in your team. And it's almost impossible to become world class without it. And so that's one of the reasons. The other part of it is center and focus. Understanding that we're here to serve someone, something greater than ourselves. And let me be blunt. It's not just read the Bible in the morning. I read Philippians every day.
Okay.
So it's specific because those passages resonate with me and with who I am, and keep me and remind me that it's bigger than me, that we're here to serve someone else, that we're here to really help people move and be better in their lives.
All right. So how do we help people get better in business and create different things? Let's talk about your business real quick.
Absolutely. So we are client attraction pros, and we help create thought leaders. Listen, you, my friend, got into business because you are unique. You saw a problem in the world and you wanted to solve it because nobody else was. That's why you started in business. Once you take that and you take the fact that you are great at what you do, and you're probably at that place where so many of us get in business right now where we're saying, hey, if more people, more of my ideal customers knew who I was and what I did, they would sign up to work with me, which would also solve some of my problems, which would also solve my staff's problems. That's where most of us are in business. And the reality is it's because your industry needs you to become a thought leader. That's why you're not having that success. People need to hear from you. People want to hear from you. People must hear from you and connect with you. What we do is we help you use video to make that fun, fast, and easy.
All right. So video is coming straight at you. So the thing is with interaction, what I love about videos, and doing these shows is that you're seeing the real person. You get to see the real videos and information. Sometimes things can get lost in an email, in a tweet, in a text, and the thing. The videos is there to say, hey, here I am. This is what we can do. Here it is. So talk about what's the real quick, like for all my listeners out there that are like, oh, I'm so scared to do videos, and I got to see myself in it. Do I got to put myself in it? What pictures do I use? How long does it got to be? Does it got to be 4x9? Does it got to be on Twitter, on Twitch? Does it be on LinkedIn? Does it be, and they panic.
Yeah.
So, give us 3 tips so they can stop panicking.
Yeah. Well, first tip, I'll tell you, I've been doing this a long time. I've been creating videos since 2007. I don't even watch my own videos.
Okay.
So that's number one in terms of getting over that part of yourself. Number two, what we teach you how to do when we look at content strategy, right, is you're here to answer questions that your customer has. That's the entire goal. That's the entire purpose. You want to answer their specific questions. Now, if your customer calls you on the phone, if your customer is on Zoom with you and they ask you a question, you don't get up and go to the bathroom to check your makeup before you answer the question. You don't say, you know what, I'll answer that question, but not until I lose 15 pounds. You don't say, well, I'm not sure exactly what words to use right now. You just answer the question. And my friend, the thing to understand, my tip here for you is understand when you're creating a video, what you're doing is you're talking directly to that customer. And the thing that they care about is connecting with your heart. They care about connecting with your heart. So that's my second tip. Okay, understand that it's about connecting with your heart, not about being perfect. And then the third one, and this is the one, you gotta hear me on this. This is the one. You have to start now. It's never been easier, and it's never been this inexpensive to create video. And not only is it easy and inexpensive right now, but the bang for your buck that you will get today creating video, you will never get again. And there are tons of reasons about that we can talk for hours on that. but it's going to become harder and it's going to become more expensive to get your video in front of your ideal customer. And right now, you can do it for cheaper than ever before. So now is the time to start, because right now you can outpace your competition in ways that you cannot even imagine just yet.
So what is it about people and not seeing themselves? Like, can't hear themselves. I'm like, oh, you should come on and do a podcast. No, I can't hear myself. I'm like, what do you mean you can't hear yourself? Oh, I sound weird. I sound funny. Oh, okay, well, let's do a video. No, I look weird on camera. Okay, like, what's this fear? What's this thing about yourself, listening to yourself, seeing yourself on video and video? Well, like, what is that?
Yeah, so it stems from two things. And they're both have the same root, and that's comparison. Okay. So you have an idea of what you sound like in your own head. When you talk, you hear yourself talk, but what you're hearing is not what everyone else is hearing. And so when you hear what everyone else is hearing, you're like, that doesn't sound like me. Yes, and I get it. It doesn't sound like you, but it is you. It absolutely is you. So that's one side. You're comparing yourself there in the perception of what you believe that you hear. The next side of this, especially when we talk about video, is you're comparing yourself to the world. Now, that's a trick of the enemy right there. Let's just stop. You cannot compare yourself to anyone external, okay? And what we're doing is we're comparing ourselves to the evening news. We're comparing ourselves to Hollywood blockbusters. We're comparing ourselves to Netflix. We're comparing ourselves to people who are on YouTube who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to look great.
Mm-hmm.
And we're saying, I'm not them. And I don't appear like them. And so therefore, I can't be on video because I would embarrass myself in that comparison. Here's the thing that you miss. I have, and I know you have too, I have had tons of conversations with all of those people that most of us compare ourselves to. They feel the same way you do. Even with all their fancy equipment, they feel the same way you do.
I'm sitting here laughing behind the scenes because when I first started off in radio, in my head, I sounded like Barry White. And then when I first heard myself, I'm like, wait, who turned on Urkel? I'm like, there's no way. Like when I first saw him on the radio, I'm like, oh my God, I sound nasal, I sound this, I sound that. I'm like, no. Okay. The thing about it is, as you get better, as you know the mic, you feel the mic, you feel comfortable in the camera, you are going to change. You can never change unless, like he said, start now, get it done now. If you want to see how your voice changes from the first time to the next time, you know what I mean? It wasn't this comfortability on TV or on radio that I sounded like this. It's a process, and you have to go through the process. But here it is. How does the process start? Now. So that's why you go to a gentleman like this and say, hey, I'm kind of scared, but I want to start my videos. I'm kind of scared, but I got to get my business going. So yeah, that's why I was just sitting there laughing in the background. In my head, I heard, you'll never find. Anyways.
Yeah. No, and we see it all the time. I'll give you a really, really quick story, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So there's a gentleman, Darren, and I met Darren at a trade show. Okay. And we're on a floor at a trade show. So now I want you to picture the floor of a trade show. It's loud. There are lots of people around, lots of stuff going on, right? And not the best place for creating video. And I didn't have any equipment with me, just my cell phone. Okay. Now, on top of all of this, Darren's all like this, and he's really soft. Okay. That's what Darren sounded like. And Darren's like, I can't do video. Well, I happen to have another friend at that trade show that I know needed Darren's service. And so I had that friend come over, and I knew he had questions. So I said, hey, come over. I want you to meet Darren, and y'all can talk. My friend started asking Darren questions, and Darren started answering them. And I pulled out my phone, no special equipment. I pulled out my phone right there, and I was literally because this was in the middle of the pandemic, so I'm almost 6 feet away from Darren with my phone and his soft, scratchy voice. And I recorded that video and I sent it. We didn't edit it, and I sent it to Darren, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I never knew I could be that good on camera."
That's it.
That's the beauty of using somebody like me, because we're going to help you look good better than you even realize you can look.
There you go. There you go. All right, let's have some more fun before we let you go.
Now time for victory!
It's now time for pick 3, and we're moving up in style. So now you get to pick between 1 and 13. Pick 3 numbers between 1 and 13, and those are the last 3 questions I'm going to ask you before we let you go.
11, 13, and 4.
11, 13, and 4. 11. What are 3 books that you would recommend to your audience and why?
3 books. So we're going to start with one that I'm reading right now, actually, which is Made to Stick. I'll tell you who wrote it, but I don't remember his name. But Made to Stick, absolutely wonderful on the art of telling story and making stories stick in people's mind. Because that's the thing, we've got to be memorable. Okay?
Yes. Can you say that last part again?
You have to make stories stick, and you have to be memorable.
Yeah, I think that is key for anybody. There's going to be 30 people at this trade show. Why is this person going to remember you at the trade show? Yeah. At a conference, at a wedding, at a function, when you introduce yourself? Will they remember you after the handshake?
Right. Exactly. And, it's easy to use things like, I'm the guy in the Superman hat. I do use that. Right. And so it's easy to use those types of things, but it also needs to go further than that as well. Right. And that's what Made to Stick really starts to get into. And so I love that book for that. The next one is the one I'm literally pulling up my Audible and answering this question for you here. Okay. And Made to Stick was written by Chip Heath. That's who it was. Okay. Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. And I'm giving you Mike Michalowicz and Profit First because I wish I had read this 30 years ago. Okay. The book wasn't around. But we, as business owners, so often, I'm going to use strong language here, rape ourselves financially in business, and we shouldn't be. And there's such a better way to live. And Mike tells you how to do that. And you'd be blown away by the fact that you actually can. And don't be an idiot like I was the first time I read this book about 6 years ago. And I said, oh my gosh, I can't do that right now. Do it. It will change your life. Do it. Do it. And then the last one is The One Thing by Gary Keller. The One Thing is one book that through the pandemic really revolutionized our business. And the premise of the book is very simple. And it's, what's the one thing that if you did it today would either completely make everything else obsolete or make everything else just simple? So like, what is that one thing that you must do today that's more important, that's bigger than anything else, and that you're going to finish today? That's the key. You got to be able to finish it today.
Can't just start it.
Say again?
I said you can't just start it and forget it.
No, you've got to finish it. And we've taken the one thing and permeated it through our organization, and it has made such a difference to really all of us growing to world-class status. Nice.
Okay. Number 13. What are 3 other podcasts that you listen to or you would recommend, and why?
Well, how about mine?
Of course.
And mine is Thoughts on Thought Leadership. Okay. My buddy Vince. Vince does Chasing the Insights. Absolutely love Vince's work. So those are 2 that I would tell you for sure. And my buddy Vamsey, I can't remember the name of his right now. And that's what I'm looking for. But his is really great. And for some reason, it's slipping my mind. So I can find it. right now. Yeah, I'd have to get back to you on that one because
No worries. Here it is on the screen. Don't forget to check out your show. Tell everybody when your show goes on.
So mine is recorded, and so we publish usually about once a week or so. Thoughts on thought leadership. Okay, and really, it's all about helping you become the thought leader in the industry that you need to be.
There you go.
Inspiring you to create that video.
Make sure you put a tag onto that one as well. All right, last one. What are some great resources that have helped you along the way?
So number one, if you're in business and you don't have a coach, you are not very successful. I'm just call a spade, right? You look at all, and I mean all high-performing people in the world, whether you're talking about athletes, to politicians, to business people, everyone in between, they all have coaches. Just think about it. The highest paid people on this planet all have coaches. Why the heck do you think you don't need one?
You know, if I didn't do this long enough, and every single guest that comes on my show says the same thing, I would say, oh, you're wrong. Okay. Every guest says the same thing, and it's absolutely 100% with, quotations and more quotations across the board. It's true. Because they said the same thing. You think about it, your top athletes, you know what I mean? Every athlete has what? A coach. On the team, what's on the sideline? The coach. Everything you need to help you get over the hump is a coach. Okay, let's call it Michael Jordan. Yes, one of the great. I think he's the top of all tops on the sideline. But what did he have to design the triangle? He had Phil Jackson, the coach. So there you go. Okay, he said it. I've said it. Every show on my podcast, I've said it. So what are you guys waiting for? Go find that.
And what I'll tell you is, not all coaches are the same. So don't just go get any coach, or don't go just get my coach, right? You got to find somebody who resonates with you and where your business is. And I want to be careful and hearing what I'm saying, because sometimes there's a difference between a coach and a mentor, right? There's a big difference between a coach and a mentor. And what I'm saying here in a coach is, you want a coach who, one, resonates with you, who is there with you and can give you some real play-by-play, and also has done what you want to do.
They've been there. They've done that.
Okay. All right. Not somebody who comes in every 90, 180 days. And I have nothing. I got mentors too. So I'm not against mentors. Not against that at all. Right. But I'm talking about somebody who is willing to get in the trenches with you and have the hard conversations. Someone who's going to tell you, you're screwing up right here. Someone who's going to tell you, no, that's a really great idea. Right. Somebody who really understands and has perspective of where you are and where you're going, because they've been there too. Get yourself.
Here you go. All right. He said it. We've said it. We've all said it. So what are you waiting for? It's time to put your face out there. It's time to put out your message. Get those videos going. And if you need help, he's right there. Listen, my friend, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show. We thank you so much. And this was fun. I truly appreciate you taking the time to come on with us.
The pleasure's been all mine. Thank you, Charles.
All right. So make sure you check out his link. Make sure you check out his podcast. It is time for you to be that superstar you're always meant to be. Get the word out. Get your face out. Get those videos out. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. See you later.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, hope you had a great time listening to the show. If you think I did a great job, please buy me a coffee. I still got a lot of work to do. We would love to hear from you, your feedback. So please click the link and leave us a review. You can help us grow by following us on all social media platforms and sharing this link. Once again, it's time for you to jump. Success is waiting.